Smith right now. You on? He's right here, Prime.
Am I lying, Emmett?
What's that?
Am I lying about the meeting?
No, you're not lying, bro.
Did we have a meeting?
We had a meeting.
Take a seat.
Discussing all those things.
Take a seat.
And Troy said, Mike is gonna get us.
Mike gonna cut it. He gonna cut it. He gonna cut it twice. He gonna cut it twice. He gonna have to cut everybody.
Yeah. We knew that was gonna happen.
Okay. But did you think you were going to Disney World after
me personally?
After that catch?
No,
the one?
No, I didn't do enough. I needed one more big play.
Todd Monken, the new head coach there in Cleveland, he hasn't committed yet to Shedeur. So what advice has you given him? Now you head into a new season, a new off season with the Browns.
Work. That's the way you win everything in life, but work. I ain't never seen somebody that's don't want to work, win, or succeed, or become successful, or people follow. He's a worker. He's a bona fide worker. It's funny that all this bull junk they was putting out on him, at this time last year, where has that gone? Where has that gone? Because he's a true leader. He's a bona fide baller. He can play. He studies. He prepares. When he walks into a room, he knows how to win it. But it's just the work. Just getting in there with the head coach, getting in there with the OC, just getting the playbook early and just put in work.
This time last year, we had Shedeur on the show. He was excellent.
Yeah.
We really liked him.
It didn't help. It didn't help in the draft when you had him on the show last year this time. It didn't help. So you probably was the one that killed him. Did you sabotage my son? Because it didn't help.
I tried my
and
best.
nothing you did
I tried my best to help.
You just told me he was kind, he was wonderful.
He shook everybody's hand.
Yeah.
I tweeted it.
But you didn't tell that to nobody. Huh?
Yes, I
you
did.
kept it
I
a
tweeted
secret.
It went viral.
Nobody saw it. I didn't see it. Because if I had known, I would have led with that. Now you're telling me that nobody saw it.
I tweeted it.
So when they were murdering his character, did you retweet it?
I did.
No.
I promise.
No,
I
you
said
didn't. No, you did.
Coach Prime, I said it on Get Up.
No, you did.
I said it on Get Up. I said it on multiple shows. Miles Rotolo is my producer. As Miles is my witness, I spread
Miles
the
is
good
my
word.
witness.
I said
you said it like it was God. Miles is my witness.
I wouldn't say as God as my witness.
There you go.
It's not as heavy.
Okay.
As that. But I spread the good word of how kind Shedeur Sanders was.
But you let the whole world lie on him.
I tried.
Did you notice all that stuff just kind of just went away?
Well,
like after a while, it just like the lie just went away.
The slandering. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it went away.
So you agreed that it was slander.
Deion Sanders just went on the Rich Eisen show and did something nobody saw coming. While everyone thought he was there to reminisce about his Super Bowl days, Coach Prime dropped bombs about the NFL that hit different when you know what they did to Shedeur. When Rich asked him about his Cowboys days, Deion's answers weren't just about the past. They were loaded with messages about how the league operates, who gets opportunities, and why confidence gets punished in today's NFL. And when he talked about that Disney World deal he negotiated before the Super Bowl even started, he was really sending a message about knowing your worth in a system designed to undervalue you. What he revealed about the NFL's power games is exactly why Shedeur fell to the 5th round.
Capacity crowd.
We had a ping pong table.
We had a ping pong table. We used to have a domino table.
Oh my God.
We had everything.
We knew we were gonna win.
We had
great relationships, and we loved one another. Man.
And that's how we developed the relationships through those things. It was everything that football didn't have nothing to do with. It was all about the camaraderie off the field, the dominoes, the competing in that area, and laughing and joning.
Oh my God!
Things like that.
Work. I had never seen a back work like that.
What do you mean?
What I mean by that is every carry he got, he sprinted to the end zone.
All right, so let me break down what really happened on the Rich Eisen show. Because on the surface, it looked like Deion was just there for a friendly Super Bowl week interview, talking about his glory days with the Cowboys, sharing stories with Emmitt Smith, laughing about old times. But if you were paying attention, really paying attention, you caught what Coach Prime was actually doing. He was exposing the NFL's hypocrisy in real time. See, Rich starts the interview all friendly, asking Deion about his Super Bowl memories, about playing in San Francisco and Dallas, and Deion's playing along, telling stories, keeping it light, but every single answer he gives is dripping with subtext about what the league did to Shedeur. Let me show you what I mean. Rich asks Deion about his first Super Bowl with the 49ers. How did he wake up that morning? What was it like? And Deion says something that seems simple, but is actually loaded. Ready, let's get it on. That's the thing about the Super Bowl. You don't really know all the stuff that's going on. You just remember rocking on that bus, looking at all the fans, and you just can't wait to get in there and put it on. You don't really know all the stuff that's going on. Think about that. Deion's talking about 1995, but he's really talking about 2025, about Shedeur going through the draft process, about all the backroom conversations, all the narratives being built, all the politics happening that the player doesn't even know about. Shedeur didn't know NFL teams were spreading lies about him wearing headphones to meetings. He didn't know they were calling him unprepared. He was just trying to get ready for the biggest moment of his life, and behind the scenes, the league was sabotaging him. Just like Deion said, you don't really know all the stuff that's going on. But here's where it gets really interesting. Deion starts talking about how the Cowboys used to operate, and every story he tells is basically a masterclass, and how the NFL used to reward greatness, and how they don't anymore.
And I came back later on that afternoon. I don't know why I came back. Irv was up there working out and running again, this time with a weighted vest on. So I asked Irv, I was like, dude, what you doing? He said, man, I'm trying to get an edge on my opponents. I'm trying to beat Jerry Rice this year. I'm trying to do this. I'm like, okay. So I start figuring out that I needed to do extra stuff too. Not necessarily at the facility, but I had to do extra stuff. I don't know what these kids do today. I don't know what they do to build camaraderie amongst the team.
He talks about that meeting he had with Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, and Emmitt Smith before Super Bowl 30. They got together and said, when Disney comes to us, we're asking for $100,000. Not $50,000, 100, or we're not doing it. That's power. That's knowing your worth. That's believing in yourself so much that you can negotiate before you even win the game. Now think about Shedeur. Kid is confident. Kid knows his worth. Kid has the same mentality his father had. I'm the best, and I'm going to prove it. And what happened? The NFL punished him for it. They called him arrogant. They said he was entitled. They tanked his draft stock because he had the audacity to believe in himself. Deion's sitting there telling Rich Eisen about how confidence was rewarded in his era, and the unspoken message is crystal clear. Today's NFL punishes that same confidence, especially if your last name is Sanders. Then Deion and Emmitt start talking about work ethic, about how Michael Irvin used to work out twice a day, how the Cowboys had 25, 30 guys showing up for voluntary workouts at 5 a.m., how they built camaraderie through ping pong tables and domino games in the locker room. And Emmitt makes this comment that destroyed me. I don't know what these kids do today. Everybody got a trainer. Everybody has a different trainer. Nobody ain't working together. You hear what he's saying? The NFL has become so individualized, so corporate, so controlled, that players don't even build real relationships anymore. They don't work out together. They don't hang out together. They hire separate trainers, go to separate facilities, and show up to camp as strangers. And then the league wonders why there's no chemistry, why teams don't gel, why young players struggle. But when Shedeur shows up with his dad's coaching, with well-off media, with a built-in support system and family structure, the NFL calls it a problem. They say there's too much baggage. They say he's difficult to work with. The hypocrisy is insane. Deion built his career on teamwork and relationships. He just spent 10 minutes talking about how important camaraderie was to the Cowboys' success. And now his son gets punished for having that exact same support system. Make it sense. At one point, Deion tells this story about how he found out he wasn't going back to the 49ers. He says he was playing baseball in San Francisco, saw a preseason game on TV, and noticed some kid wearing his number 21. That's how he found out the team moved on from him.
Here we go. Cleveland should keep Shedeur Sanders as their starting quarterback. Definitely or definitely not?
I'm going to say this is a definitely not, and not because I don't know that Shedeur is not their starting quarterback. I do think when a new coach is coming in and you don't have a number one guy, whether it's Gabriel, whether it's Sanders, they're going to bring somebody in. Monken has made a clear point. He wants everybody competing.
No phone call, no conversation, no respect. Just saw his number on someone else and knew it was over. And Rich is laughing like it's a funny story, but Deion's face says something different. You can tell he remembers how that felt, being disrespected by an organization he helped win a championship. That's the NFL. That's how they operate. Use you, win with you, then move on without even the courtesy of a conversation. Sound familiar? That's exactly what they tried to do to Shedeur. Build up this narrative that he doesn't fit, that he's a problem, that teams should pass on him, all without ever giving him a fair shot. But here's the beautiful part. Deion didn't let the 49ers situation break him. He went to Dallas and won another Super Bowl. He proved that when one organization doesn't appreciate you, you find one that does. And that's exactly what Shedeur's doing in Cleveland. Now, let's talk about the Disney World story, because this is where Deion really exposed the game. He tells Rich that before Super Bowl 30, he got together with Irvin, Aikman, and Emmett and said, "We're not doing Disney for $50K. We want $100K or we're not doing it." And they all agreed. Then Deion looks at Troy and says, "You know Mike is going to shortchange us, right?" And Troy laughed because they knew Michael Irvin would negotiate for himself and try to cut everyone else out. But here's the thing. They respected it. They expected it because that's how the game works. Everyone's trying to maximize their value, and if you're not smart enough to negotiate for yourself, that's on you. Deion learned that lesson in the NFL. He learned to negotiate. He learned to know his worth. He learned to demand what he deserved. And he taught those lessons to Shedeur. But when Shedeur shows up with that same mentality, the NFL calls it a problem. They say he's got too much business savvy. They say he's more interested in brand than football. Really? Deion just told a story about negotiating a Disney deal before the Super Bowl even started, and that celebrated his confidence in smart business. But Shedeur doing the same thing in 2025 is somehow a red flag. The double standard is disgusting. Emmitt Smith is sitting right there nodding along, and you can tell he gets it too. He understands what Deion's really saying. These aren't just fun Super Bowl stories. These are lessons about how the NFL works, who succeeds, and why the system is broken.
Quarterback. I do think when a new coach is coming in and you don't have a number one guy, whether it's Gabriel, whether it's Sanders, they're going to bring somebody in. Monken has made a clear point. He wants everybody competing for a job. So Shedeur might earn the starting spot. I just don't think you walk in with a known starter, again, that you got no commitment to.
It's crazy because Deshaun Watson is not 30 yet. And it's crazy. It seems like he's been around forever.
At one point, Emmett talks about how excited he was to get Deion as a teammate. He says, "How can you not be excited to have a threat like that? Because for me as a running back, I need threats. I need Irvin on one side, Prime on the other side, and you can put somebody else in the slot." He needed weapons around him to succeed. He needed the defense to respect other players so he could do his job. That's football 101. You need talent around you to win. But somehow, when people talk about Shedeur, they act like he should succeed with nothing. Fifth-round pick, terrible coaching situation, media attacking him every day, and he's supposed to carry a franchise without weapons, without support? Emmitt Smith wouldn't have been Emmitt Smith without Irvin and Aikman. Deion wouldn't have won Super Bowls without those dominant Cowboys teams. But Shedeur's supposed to do it alone? The disrespect is unreal. Later in the interview, Rich asks Deion about NIL money. How much would he have made in today's college landscape? And Deion's answer is perfect. He says, "I'd have been comfortable. Me and my mom, and Nim Nim is Nim." Translation, I would have been rich. I would have been set. I would have maximized every opportunity and taken care of my family. That's what Shedeur did. He got Nike deals, he got Gatorade deals, he built his brand, he made sure his family was straight. And the NFL punished him for it. They acted like making smart business decisions somehow meant he wasn't serious about football. But Deion just said if he was in college today, he'd do the exact same thing. So why is it celebrated for Deion but criticized for Shedeur? Because the NFL doesn't want players who think for themselves. They don't want players who know their worth. They want players who shut up, do what they're told, and don't ask questions. Deion never did that, and he's not raising his son to do that either.
Throughout the whole interview, Deion keeps emphasizing confidence. He talks about how the Cowboys knew they were going to win Super Bowl 30. He says, "We were so confident. We knew we were going to win. That was never even an afterthought." That's the mindset of a champion. You don't hope to win. You know you're going to win. You prepare, you execute, and you dominate. Shedeur has that same mindset, and the NFL tried to break it by making him fall to the 5th round. But just like Deion, Shedeur didn't let it break him. He made the Pro Bowl as a rookie. He handled a terrible coaching situation with grace. He kept his confidence even when everyone was trying to tear him down. That's Sanders' DNA. That's what Deion taught him. And now, with Todd Monken in Cleveland, Shedeur is about to show the NFL what they missed. So here's what I want to know from you. Do you think Deion was sending subliminal messages about Shedeur's treatment throughout this entire interview, or was he just telling old stories? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments, because I think every word he said was loaded with meaning. And if you made it this far, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because when Shedeur proves the NFL wrong, and he will, you're going to want to be here for every moment. Let's go. I'll catch you in the next one.